My last video about Cube VR actually inspired me to make a new series. It's called Trash or Treasure, in which I will look at buried and unknown games and see if they are trash or treasure. Little disclaimer before the video starts. This game is on its scariest and creepiest when you have no idea what you're about to do or what is gonna happen. So with everyone who has a VR headset out there, I encourage you to go ahead and try this game out before watching the video. Now that that's out of the way, let's get right into the video. When I first played this game with a small group of friends, we also had no idea what to do or what to expect. Here's a small clip showing how scary this game can be when you don't know anything about it. Who are you? Anyway, well over a year ago, Phasmophobia was released. This really was a literal game changer for the horror industry, as it set new boundaries for co-op horror games. There were barely any around in the Steam store, but after Phasmophobia took off and gained huge popularity, the copycats and rip-offs started flowing in as well. Fast forward 1 year, and Forewarned was released. I had this game on my radar fairly quickly, because I didn't really notice it was inspired by Phasmophobia. I just thought it was a cool game about exploring ancient tombs. Very quickly after starting the game, we figured out that yes, indeed, it is very much like Phasmophobia, as you have to gather evidence to figure out what kind of monster there is, much like Phasmo. We started playing the game, my friends on their PCs, me in VR, and we absolutely had no idea what to do, because somehow we missed this tutorial button. It's right there, how could we miss this? Aside from the point that we didn't really know what to do, it also really didn't help that the VR controls were extremely broken when the game first released. And these weren't just small bugs, the game was actually unplayable in VR. So after doing a quick Google search for a webpage guiding us through the game, I switched to the desktop version of the game. In hindsight, I really regret doing this, as the different monsters and the general environment of the game could have given me an amazing horror experience. After playing it to record this video, I still even got a little scared.
Oh my god.
But with these types of games, just like Phasmophobia, the scare part wears off the more you play it. So it really is a shame that I decided to play on desktop. But at least then I had a game to play, and it was still really fun. Let's actually get into the game. You arrive on an archaeological excavation site. Here lies the entrance to an ancient Egyptian tomb. You, and possibly your friends, gear up and the mission begins. You enter the tomb. Your expedition begins here. You will have to gather different types of evidence in order to figure out what kind of monster, or in this game they're called magi, is hidden in the depths of this tomb. There are tons of different tools and equipment to help you figure out these evidence. They range from footsteps to radar detection, reanimation, radioactivity, tremors, vocal response.
Who are you?
Extinguished flames, metallic signature, magnetic distortion, destruction, disturbed tombs, and electronic disturbance. On your tablet you can select all the evidence you found, and once you have enough, the result on the right over here will be the correct magi. You can fill this in on the signs next to the inner tomb, and if you are correct, it will open. If you're wrong, arrows will shoot at you and the magi will manifest. And he, as sure as hell, is not friendly. If you do get inside the tomb, there will be some extra treasure and a rare relic. But beware, because this relic was used to trap the magi. So if you do grab it, the magi will manifest as well. On the research tab you can find notes about every different magi, and you can read about him. And you better do, because each magi has different abilities. But each magi also has a way you can defend yourself against them. First, there's Dakan the Lost. He's blind and he will go off sound.
What are you doing?
So you better be silent or he will know where you are. But with a radio you can trick him and you will be safe for a bit longer. Secondly, we have Necroth the Shadow. He will track light, so as long as you turn off all your light sources, you will be fine. There is a night vision tablet in the game you can use, but you first have to unlock this, so until you do, you're stuck with only a lighter. Also, he gets pretty angry if you look at him. Then, there's Talgor the Perilous. He's literally invisible. Luckily, you can see him when you look through the tablet, but once again, you first need to unlock this. You can also hear him walk around if you listen closely. But he's also slowed by your speech, and the louder you talk, the slower he gets. But also the louder you talk, the harder it gets to hear him walk. Next up we have Ufris the Forgotten. This was the first Magi I encountered with my friends and it was extremely funny. His ability is to take form of a member of your crew. So we still didn't really know what to do. We pressed the button, we filled in the wrong Magi, we were like, yeah, what now? So we're discussing what to do, and suddenly, instead of 4 people, there's 5 of us. And then when he starts whistling, oh, you have a problem. But luckily, you may have brought an amulet to ward him off for a little bit.
Oh my god!
Finally, there's Rothos the Damned, the most iconic Magi. He's just a mummy, but a pretty big one. You can scare him a little bit if you wave some fire around, but he recovers from being stunned for a very short time, and he will get more angry. While running for your life or dodging these monsters, you may have noticed that the entrance has been blocked off. You can't get out anymore. You need to find a blue lever to open it once again. If you successfully escape, you will gain some experience to help level up your tools. But escaping with the relic isn't the only way to gain experience. There's a ton of side quests, for which most include making pictures of certain stuff. Aside from experience, there's also gold to be found. For example, by opening the treasure vault with 2 of these levers.
I found a treasure.
Sometimes, gold lies behind traps or puzzles, like the spike room, the snake room, or the poison dart room. This gold can then be used to upgrade your equipment to help you survive or to be more efficient in finding the evidence, as there is a time limit before the tomb seals off. While exploring or while running for your life, there are tons of different traps to encounter, or things like sand that slows you down. The best part is, the tombs are randomly generated, so they are never the same and you'll never know the way, constantly keeping you in complete chaos and disorientation. And yes, I said the game was maybe a ripoff of Phasmophobia, just like there's many of these, but I didn't actually mean it that way. Yeah, sure, it may have been inspired by it, but in my opinion, it surpasses Phasmophobia in many ways. For example, in Phasmophobia, if you got really good at the game, you can do things like loop the ghost around a car, or if you're really fast at gathering the evidence, you might not encounter the ghost at all. In Forewarned, you are guaranteed to encounter him. First, you can already die by all the different traps or different creatures lurking around the tombs. And once you found all the evidence, you found a lot of gold and you really don't want to die, you gotta go running around a dark and scary tomb that you don't know the way in, trying to find a blue lever, all while trying to dodge the monster or running from it. Unlike Phasmophobia, you can just hide in a closet for a little bit, wait until the hunt is over. This, together with the replayability of having different tombs every time, getting 5 different Magi with 5 different abilities, is what makes the game so great. Also, you just want to keep grinding the game to keep upgrading your gear, collecting all the rare artifacts and lore pages. This is extremely fun. You just want to keep playing the game to keep getting more gold and keep upgrading your gear. And no, this is no hate on Phasmophobia because it really was a great game on its own. All I'm trying to say is, if you enjoyed playing Phasmo, you'll definitely enjoy playing this. And now that the VR game breaking bugs have been polished out, it actually works really great in VR too, except for this stupid evidence screen. And it's so much more scary than on the desktop version. I've once said the worst and least scary horror game in VR is still more scary than the scariest horror game on desktop, because that's just how VR works. So, if I have to choose between trash or treasure, this game is definitely treasure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.